Welcome back to Poetry and Police. Welcome back to the channel. As usual, before I go any further, I must say enough respect to my loyal subscribers. Shout out to the good, hard-working, honest members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Whole heap of shout out to the teachers in Jamaica. Yes, man, the teachers in Jamaica. Whole heap of shout out to the teachers. To the JDF members, whole heap of shout out to the nurses. Enough shout out, especially to the nurses. What I'm going to talk about today is that people has been asking me a whole lot of questions as it relates to Steve Mcgregor. People are asking me, what kind of police was Steve Mcgregor? Was Steve Mcgregor a corrupt policeman? Was he a good policeman? Was he this? Was he that? Was he a tough crime fighter? People have been asking me, now that he's been transformed to politics, what is he going to offer to Jamaican politics? A lot of people are saying that he was a Labourite and now he has come over to the People's National Party. So now let's talk about the transformation of Steve Mcgregor. First of all, let me introduce the man to you for those who do not know Steve Mcgregor. Steve Mcgregor is a retired senior superintendent of police. He had served the Jamaica Constabulary's Force for 40 years. And that man joined the police department when he was just 19 years old, and he has been serving the Jamaican people from that time till now. So, during his time in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, he was labeled a top crime fighter, a hardcore police officer by most people. You see, during his time in the force, Mcgregor worked in all geographic divisions within the corporate area, including he worked at the Mobile Reserve, Motorized Patrol, Community Safety Branch, strategic operations. He served in the Central Kingston, he served St. James and the St. Andrew Police Division too. So the man has been a well-rounded police officer with a vast experience in the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And at his retirement, he was operations. Before his retirement, he was in charge of operation for the Police Area 4. And after retiring from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, he went on as manager at the Mona campus of the University of the West Indies. So he has a long resume. And from information, he was an effective police officer. But people are asking the question, the same questions that they're asking of Newton Amos, because Newton Amos is one police officer who transformed into politics after leaving the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And so senior members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, senior officers who have been transformed, is no news that has been going on for years. Now it is Steve Mcgregor. Now people have a lot of questions to ask. Will Steve Mcgregor, one of the major questions that people are asking is, will Steve Mcgregor topple the mighty Bunting for security ministry and for the Minister of National Security if the PNP wins? That's a big question. And I am asking, if even though he was a police officer, a well-rounded police officer, I should assume that, is Steve Mcgregor qualified to be the next Minister of National Security in the People's National Party? If there's a People's National Party, because as far as I'm concerned, the People's National Party is not even a party now. It is in shambles. It is in disarray. Most people are saying that Steve Mcgregor will never win in Central Kingston because the people of Central Kingston, yes, they are diehard PNPs, but at the same time, they are loyal to Imani Duncan. All right, so that is a question that most people have to try and answer. I am no political activist. I am no political scholar. The next question that people are asking is that, was Steve Mcgregor thrust into Central Kingston by Mark Golden to dethrone Peter Bunting from the security ministries? And people are even saying that, is it personal? Is Golden trying to dethrone his personal friend and business partner? That is one of the questions that people are asking. And I am going to leave that up to you to discuss that in this medium. Understand? But my story is on Steve McGregor. And I have carried out investigations and received certain information that some people are saying that Steve McGregor was a corrupt police and that he has a lot of underground ties in the central Kingston area, both politically and criminally. I can only say what people have said about him. That I cannot say that the man is a criminal. I have no proof of that. So I will never say that he's a criminal. I can't say that. But people are alleging, and police officers are alleging that this man was not a good police officer and in fact that he was corrupt. So I will ask the question that if Steve McGregor indeed was a corrupt police officer, senior officer, will he bring the corruption to politics? And will he be more corrupted coming into politics where corruption is rampant? You see, people, what you need to understand, that Jamaica is one of the countries where it would appear as if anybody can become politicians. All convicted criminals can become politicians, because you will see that. Remember that Vybz Kartel's attorney, Isaac Buchanan, is not a Flowers, he's not a Rose. He has convictions, even though it was in a different country. But in some countries, he would have never been allowed to run for public office. And these are the things that I am against. That once you have any type of criminal history, that you should not be allowed to lead the people of any country. You should not be allowed to represent any form of public office. And I will put my foot down. I don't care what people want to say. I do not believe that anybody who has any form of criminal background or criminal charges should serve the people of Jamaica in a public office. That is what I am saying to you. Because Jamaica is one of the places where it would appear as if there's nobody investigates people that are running in public office, both in the JLP and both in the JLP and the PNP party. Because at the end of the day, these people does not care about the people of Jamaica and who they are putting to represent the people of Jamaica. So my question is, will the people of Central Kingston trust Steve McGregor? Does Mark Golden really trust Steve McGregor? Or he's just using Steve McGregor to overthrow Peter Bunting? That's the question, people. Is that the idea? Is Steve McGregor fit to run as security minister? We would, in time past, I would say that the most qualified candidate for Ministry of National Security would be a candidate who has police background, investigation background, and at least experience in the crime arena, who knows what things to put into place. I was having a discussion with a friend recently about the whole situation, and the friend was alluring to the fact that the most suitable person at this point in time to run or to be the next minister of national security for the People's National Party, that the best candidate would be Anderson, ex-commissioner Anderson. And I am somewhat in agreement with the choice of Commissioner Anderson, because I see Commissioner Anderson as a more upstanding person. And when Mr. Anderson came as Commissioner of Police, he was given all the tools that he wanted to do the job. He came and he changed the direction of the force, really. In terms of the images of the force, how the force looks. The uniform of the force was changed because of Mr. Anderson. And the whole outlook of the force, the whole image of the force was changed through Mr. Anderson. So, right now I believe that if we had a Minister of National Security in the Labourite Party, in the JLP Party, like Anderson, working with Blake, then Jamaica could go places. Jamaica would climb mountains in the decrease of crime. If we had a Anderson as a Minister of National Security and a Blake as a Commissioner of Police, that team would be one of the greatest teams right now. Or Anderson, a very upstanding man in my view, a very upstanding man who understands policing too, and a man who wants the best for the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Yes, he wanted the best for the Jamaica Constabulary Force. A very disciplined man, and a man who cares about the image of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and a man who cares about the equipment that police officers are issued with, and who cares about the police department moving into the new technology that exists nowadays to fight crime. So I believe that Anderson, if Anderson was Minister of National Security, working with Blake as Commissioner of Police, that is where the results would come from. I do not know if Mr. Anderson has any interest in becoming a politician. But like people always say, any senior police officer, the final thing is always to be, when after Commissioner of Police, or even when I leave as senior officer like Steve Mcgregor, most of them would go into politics. That is the second step. So I would, right now people, I would recommend to the Prime Minister of Jamaica right now. I do not know if Mr. Anderson is interested, but I am saying that Mr. Andrew Holness, that ex-Commissioner Anderson as Minister of National Security and Commissioner of Police Kevin Blake, I believe that a team like that will move mountains for Jamaica in terms of crime and violence, in terms of decreasing crime even more. That is all I am saying. That is my opinion about the whole subject. I don't really care about politics much. What I care about is the people of Jamaica and how crime and violence is affecting the people in Jamaica. And I am nailed down. My resolve is for the government and the Commissioner of Police and the ministers to create a police environment in which the reduction of crime continues in Jamaica rather than go back to the way it was before. A lot of people might be saying that we are not seeing the reduction in crime. And a lot of, you know what? I'm going to address this in this. Somebody said to me that a lot of murders are not being reported. And that's why we have a reduction in crime. And people even went as far as saying that if 7 people was unalive one place, the police record it as 1 murder. Well, I am not going to be upset with you about that, my listeners or my viewers and my subscribers, because you are not police officers, you are laypersons, so most of you do not understand policing. If 7 people is unalive one place, it's not recorded as 1 murder. It's recorded as murder, but 7 counts. I will repeat, it's recorded as murder, but 7 counts of murder. It's 1 entry, but it says 7 counts, where all the victims are outlined in the diary entry at the police station. And the records will show it's 7 counts, meaning it is 7 murders. Understand? The other part of the question about some of the murders who are not reported. If a murder was not reported in the first place, then you cannot log nothing that is not reported. So therefore, most of these people will be in missing person. Because for police to ascertain or to prove that a murder has committed, there has to be a body in most cases. There has to be a body. And there has to be enough information to suffice to say that yes, the person was murdered, but the body cannot be recovered. Then the police officer the detectives might record it as a murder. But most of the time, we do not record murders where there are no bodies. We do not record murders where there are no bodies. The case is recorded as missing person. So you can check with the murder rate in Jamaica and check with the missing person report when a person has been missing for over several months. Because we can assume that they have met their demise. We can only assume, but we cannot state it in record that yes, that person was murdered. So I hope that answer your question, people. The persons who are saying that some of the murders are not recorded. The reason why they are not recorded as murder because they are recorded as missing person. And again, I will say to you, if 7 person is unalive at one place, it is not recorded as 1 murder. It's recorded as a murder, but it will say 7 counts.